All right, a little bit of a different setup because my garage light went out, but I don't do these in the house because I wake up the whole house as I talk deep. So, this week in the book, and I just got done watching the Kansas City Chiefs Tampa Bay game. What a game! So I'll do that. I'll do my review of that game first because wow, Baker and Mahomes both played absolutely amazing. It really showed that Tampa Bay can run the ball. They can run the ball. Baker can always throw. He's always been able to throw. But what this showed was Kate Otten is. Could you put some respect on his name? He blew up, and then he can throw to receivers that aren't big names. Like you had Chris Godwin out. This shows how much mismanaged Baker's been his entire career. Whether in Cleveland, whether in Carolina. He played well with the Rams. Sean McVay loved him, so I'm not going to say anything about the Rams, but this shows how mismanaged he's been in every situation. Matt Rule, Carolina, terrible coach, can't scheme somebody open. Cleveland, he played with a whole bunch of people who were past their prime, couldn't catch a ball anymore. Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry, with a coaching staff that didn't believe in him. So this shows when you believe in a guy, and their offensive coordinator is absolutely amazing. Their defense is really good. That game could have went either way. Might have been mismanaged with that 30 seconds left in the game. They called timeout when they were at the one. Personally, maybe they wanted to get a different group of people in there or what they were doing there at the end of the game, but I think that 30 seconds sealed their fate. That allowed them to get to overtime. But let's be honest, the defense really let them down because they were stopping them all. They were stopping the Chiefs all game. This game was only 17-17 when it came to overtime. So that's a very disheartening loss, but very encouraging loss for Tampa Bay. On the Chiefs side, they can run the ball. They can pass the ball. DeAndre Hopkins has been the best wide receiver in the entire NFL for as long as he's been in the league. I will sing his praises. He's better than Antonio Brown ever was. Better than Julio Jones. He's better than everybody. He made Deshaun Watson look amazing in Houston for years. Stop. My dogs. They're so weird. So, I mean, they had a lot of things going on. Good off season for them. Kareem Hunt running the ball. My big pit bull over here. He's a big boy. And then DeAndre looks amazing. Watson looks amazing. And Mahomes out there doing Mahomes things, so that was a good game, good game to watch. And if Tampa Bay's schedule lightens up like they do it the rest of the season, I mean they got the 49ers and then it's a real easy schedule. They're probably going to go to the playoffs. So that was a big game. Good win for the Chiefs. Good showing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bucky Irving and White are a two-headed monster in the backfield, and that's a big takeaway I got from there. So let me look at my note sheet. Carolina Panthers got a win over New Orleans. Derek Carr, first game back. No Olave, no Rashid. Really didn't play well. Kamara had a good game, and then Chuba Hubbard had a pretty good game. So Bryce Young, about 50% throwing, but nothing really to talk about there. Both teams are really good in my opinion. Commanders and G-Men. Commanders won that game. G-Men played well for a division game, but they're always going to play well in a division game. I thought the Commanders were going to win. Jalen Daniels, Terry McLaurin looked great. Jalen Daniels is going to be a great quarterback for the future. He just is. Bills and Fins. The Dolphins are getting their offense back. Bills didn't play with Amari Cooper though, and they still won the game. Their rookie is all world. He's going to be a household name eventually. Eventually, I'll even remember his name. They win that game, but the Dolphins look good. I mean, the Dolphins look good. Bills just look like the dominant team in that division. Chargers and Browns. There's not much to say about this, but the Browns look like the most pathetic team in football. And they are. They're the most pathetic team in football. I think they have 2 wins on the year. The offense couldn't do anything. Now, I'll grant you, what they did against the Ravens last week versus this week, the Ravens' defense is terrible. The Ravens' defense is going to be the reason they don't win a Super Bowl this year, because they can't stop anybody. They can't. They made Jameis Winston look like he was all world. They dropped 4 wide open interceptions, 4. So the Browns' offense is terrible. They had a couple bright spots. Myles Garrett had 3 or 4 sacks. The defensive line played well. There's blown coverages all over the place. Quentin Johnston got a 60-yard bomb thrown to him by beautiful bomb by Justin Herbert. Blown coverage. Both safety and the corner were over here. Wide receivers right down the field. And then 2 drives later, they did the exact same thing. They blew it on this side of the field. I know. I was there. I watched the game. But terrible. The Browns can't run block anymore. They forgot. That's because Callahan's gone. And they're pulling guards. They're pulling everybody else. They're not doing a zone blocking scheme like they should be. That's what Chubb's good at. Why are you not doing that? Dorsey, maybe you need to reevaluate how you're calling these plays. As far as the Chargers go, they didn't even have Joey Bosa, and they were all over the quarterback. They were all over Jameis Winston. They were all over the running game. They have a really stout defense. No Joey Bosa, but they got everybody else playing. Justin Herbert looked great. He was hitting everybody. I mean, he hardly threw an incompletion, I think. But Quentin Johnston coming back stretches the field. He is an amazing player, and he's going to be really good. He can stretch a field. He can really stretch a field. And then J.K. Dobbins was just feasting all over that defense because they were so tired because, honestly, the offense can't stay on the field for more than 5 minutes. And it was really interesting that they had almost the exact same time of possession, and the Browns only scored 1 touchdown. That is embarrassing. Browns should be embarrassed. Actually, hold on. I'm going to go on a little tangent. When you gave away all them picks for Deshaun Watson, you betrayed your franchise. Not only did you betray your franchise, you betrayed your fan base and your business. You did all that. Then you betrayed your Amari Cooper, who was one of the best things we had running. Now you definitely can't run because no one respects your passing game. So Nick Chubb just came back for nothing. Should have just left him out. Should have just left him out. But the guy that you did have, Baker, he went one-on-one with the Chiefs tonight and almost won the game through 2 touchdown passes, over 200 yards, and took a team to the playoffs last year. And will take a team to the playoffs this year. The Cleveland Browns organization is the worst organization in football, followed by Carolina. The only reason Carolina was successful is because somehow they drafted Steve Smith, who no one really thought he was going to be that crazy when he came out of college. And then they drafted Cam Newton, and then luckily they had Jonathan Forsett, and they had D'Angelo Williams. They got good picks, and they did something with them because they actually had a good defense. Hey, look, it looks exactly like the Browns. Now we have a good defense, and we don't have no offense. That's what happens. Those are the 2 worst organizations in football. Anyone who goes there, I feel sorry for. And if you sign there as a free agent, terrible decision. DJ Moore got out. Look at him. It speaks of itself. Terrible organizations. Chargers with Quentin Johnston back and J.K. Dobbins running the ball, I think they're going to be all right, and I think they may make a playoff. They may make a late playoff push. Very good defense. Pats, Titans, 2 teams that don't really matter. The Titans ended up winning the game. I don't have much to say about that game. They both won't make the playoffs. They're both Pats are rebuilding. They need to get some. They're probably going to be looking to trade KJ Osborne and another receiver on their team. Titans, they don't have a quarterback, and honestly, Calvin Ridley is the only person they have as a wide receiver. I don't see anybody else on their team that's actually worth mentioning. Tony Pollard was only good in Dallas, and we see what Dallas has become without a running back. So, not really anything to say about that. Speaking of Dallas, the score looked better. The final score looked better than the game was. They got slammed by the Falcons. Kirk Cousins just lit them up. Their defense is non-existent, and their offense is pedestrian. They have no running game. No one respects the running game. All they can do is throw the ball. And this notion, they don't keep 8 in the box. They don't even keep. If you watch a Cowboys game, there's 6 in the box. Everybody else is covering. So CD can do CD things, but nobody else is going to do anything else. So you have to play bad teams for Dallas to win. Dallas will not make the playoffs this year. There's no way. Not with how Philly and the Commanders are playing. Just a terrible showing by Dallas. Terrible season in general by Dallas because of their offseason. You should have paid Derrick Henry. You would have had a way better team. As far as the Falcons go, I've already said they're going to be powerhouses. They are going to be powerhouses in the NFC. They're going to go in the playoffs. They're going to go deep in the playoffs, but they will not make a Super Bowl. They will go deep, but you have to remember who your quarterback is, and it's Kirk Cousins. So you will not make it deep in the playoffs. You're not going to get a Super Bowl, but you're going to have a good team. He's getting healthier too, and it looks better with him throwing the ball. If he was still in Minnesota, he probably have the same kind of numbers because he has the same amount of talent. He just has, I think Minnesota has a better wide receiver core than they do. But Mooney is very underrated. Raymond McLeod is underrated. And Kyle Pitts has been playing well. Kirk Cousins isn't a guy who's going to feature your tight end. He never has been. He never will be. So he goes for the wide receiver. He goes to the running backs. Tight end's kind of his third option. That's kind of been his career. But good one for the Falcons. Raiders, Cincy. Not much to talk about this one. The Raiders are the Raiders have everything. Jacoby Myers, Tucker, good defense. They don't have a quarterback to throw the ball. Whether it's Aiden O'Connell or it's Gardner Minshew. They don't have anybody to throw the ball, and honestly, their O line is pathetic. Brock Bowers and Jacoby Myers are one of their bright spots. Brock Bowers is amazing. He's going to be a great tight end for the years to come. And Jacoby Myers, I actually like Jacoby Myers playing the one for them. He's speedy, and Tucker playing the two is really good. So I'm getting surrounded by dogs right now, which is cool. Tucker playing the two is really good. So that's some notes on that one. Cincinnati, Joe Burrow, and Chase Brown. I told everybody he was the best running back they have. He exploded. He had 23, 24 fantasy points, ripping off stuff off the ground, getting some reception yards. He is the best back they have, and they need to feature him more. If you guys see this, feature him more. I mean, that's going to be the key to your success. You need to get someone in the backfield. Moss or whatever his name is not good. He's never been good. He's not going to be good. Chase Brown is your future. Feature that back. Denver versus the Ravens was an absolute massacre. As I predicted, the Ravens were absolutely pissed off about the loss that they had in Cleveland, and it showed, and they ran the piss out of the ball, and Zay Flowers had 2 touchdowns as well, but I mean, everybody was getting touchdowns. Derrick Henry was just trucking everybody, and Lamar Jackson was doing Lamar Jackson things. Gets a very weak team who can't score. Cortland Sutton was like one of the bright spots. I think he had 9 catches of the 12 targets he got. But I mean, they need to be featuring him. He's an All-Pro. If they don't trade him by the end of this week, I'd be very surprised because they're rebuilding. Bo Nix is good. I like Bo Nix. I think Bo Nix is all right. I think he can win, but I don't like what Denver's offense looks like. Denver's offense looks it's hard when you draft a guy from Oregon to come play a pro style offense because you got a guy who's used to spread, and Bo Nix has shown he can play under center, but I think that he would be better if he's spreading the entire field, seeing everything. And I think he's still going to be a great player, but they need to build around him extremely badly because they don't have a lot of talent at wide receiver. Good win for the Ravens. Good comeback win for the Ravens. The Bears and Cardinals was the surprising one for me. I thought it was going to be an absolute shootout. I was super interested, and the Cardinals dominated the Bears. Trey McBride had a great game. Again, underrated tight end, and most people don't even think about drafting in fantasy. And Marvin Harrison Jr. had a great game. Kyler Miller had a great game. James Conner had a great game. They had everything together, and they absolutely just crapped all over the Bears. And Caleb Williams, I don't know. From the highlights I seen, because I didn't get to watch this game because I was busy, Obviously, I was at the Browns game, and then I was driving back home. I was actually watching the Seahawks game because I was interested in that one to see how that would be without DK Metcalf on the field and Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp are good TV. But as far as that goes, I think that's a rare showing for the Bears. But I'm gonna say it again. They have no running game to speak of, and I think people are figuring out that Swift is not that good. He was good in Philly, but he's not what the Bears need. The Bears need a workhorse type, not a small guy. They need someone who's going to go in there and pound the rock, and like they need a Kareem Hunt, or they need a Chubb, or they need obviously everybody could use a Derrick Henry, so I'm not going to use that name, or a J.K. Dobbins, or a Gus Edwards, someone who can pound the rock and make his own yards, but they don't have it, so they're going to suffer for that. Jaguars, Eagles win that game. Saquon Barkley, he got one of the highlights of the year by a hurdle. Congratulations, you hurled somebody backward. Not that impressed with that. I think any time a player leaves their feet, what's up, buddy? What's up? I think anytime a player leaves their feet, he's over here whimpering because he wants me to pet him. Leaves their feet as a running back, you're putting yourself in a scary situation, especially going backwards. So I don't see that as much as a highlight as I see a oh no out of that. Like, you need to stick that in the butt right now. You cannot let Saquon Barkley, you need to tell him no more of that. He is too valuable to that team for that to be going on. He can't be jumping like that. He cannot be doing that kind of stuff. Basically, he's asking for an injury doing that. You need to protect him at all costs. Without him, the Eagles are not going to win another game. They might win one or two, but they're not going to win many games. So you need to nip that in the butt now and get rid of that, because that's not good. Personal opinion, if I was a coach, nah. Not cool. As for Trevor Lawrence played all right. Evan Ingram had a good game. They were just outmatched. The Jaguars don't really have a great defense. Their offense is pedestrian. Sometimes they play, sometimes they don't. I still think Trevor Lawrence is very overrated. He gets a lot of credit that I don't think he deserves. All right, Rams in Seattle. The Rams won. Puka Nacua threw a punch at somebody, so he's probably going to get suspended. So that's interesting. And Kupp had a great game. Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua coming back makes the Rams very dangerous. I've said this before. And their running back has a good game because of it. So as far as Nacua throwing that punch, that's Sean McVay needs to get on his ass about that, because that's very undisciplined. That's very, very, you don't need to do that. And Seattle's a good team. I hate saying this because I like him, but Geno's not the guy, man. He's not the guy. I've watched a couple games, and I don't want to say that about him because I like him, but the more and more I watch of him, he's not it. Like, they got this great offense built. Kenneth Walker in the backfield, DK, Tyler Lockett, Smith and Jigba, and they have a great offense in a above average defense, but Geno's not the guy. He's not the guy, and they need to go another route, I think. And I think a different quarterback would benefit them. Personal opinion, if you disagree with me, it's okay. I don't claim to be right about anything I say. It's all opinion based and what I see on the field. Lions and Packers. Lions are the best team in football right now in the the NFC. They might be the best team overall in football. They absolutely smacked the Packers in the rain. And they usually play in a dome, so that means they were at Lambeau. They were playing in the rain, and they absolutely smacked the Packers. The Packers need to figure out who their number one receiver is. They need to get Christian Watson going, or they need to figure out who they are, because all we know is Jordan Love can make all these passes. I don't know who his main guy is. I don't think anybody on that organization knows who their main receiver is. They have a lot of talent, but I don't think any of them know who their main guy is. So that's scary for them. Lions, They're great. You can't say anything about them. They got two-headed monster in the backfield. Jared Goff plays good ball. Mo St. Brown's way above average. He's an elite. Sam Laporta, elite. They just have weapons everywhere. Their defense is no slouch. Colts Vikings ended the exact way everybody thought it was going to end. The Vikings won that game. They have a good defense. They made it interesting at the end. Primetime game. Joe Flacco plays out. Really good game by Darnold. Really good game by Aaron Jones. It was nice to see Cam Akers out there, but it looks like Ty Chandler is going to be sitting behind Cam Akers now. And that's what I told you guys. Ty Chandler runs like this, man. He runs like this. Don't see the hole. It don't get open. Fast as hell, but he has no vision. That's why they brought in Cam Akers, and it shows that he's going to be able to give Aaron Jones a rest. But that was a good game by them. Addison had a great game. Hockenson returned to the field, had a couple good catches, but it's a Justin Jefferson show, and he's the best receiver in football right now. There's no doubt about that. He's the best receiver in football, and it's hard to defend him. For years, I said DeAndre Hopkins was the best, but it's just Jefferson show now. As far as the Colts go, shame on that organization for benching Anthony Richardson. But if you're going to bench him, keep him on the bench and let him learn. There's no reason you should have threw him out there. There's no reason that he came off an injury, and he was tired, okay? Well, if you keep calling passes, what's a kid supposed to do? He's so young. He's so able. He's all this ability, and you guys make him run all freaking game. He's not Lamar Jackson. He's got like freaking 30 pounds on him. He's not Lamar Jackson. He's not a Justin Fields. He is his own being. He's 6'4". He's 250. Like he can't run around like that all game. And you guys bench him? Indianapolis, he's not Peyton Manning. Okay, he's not Peyton Manning. He's not Lamar Jackson. You need to develop. All right, stop that. You need to develop this guy and mold him into what you want him to be and create this quarterback. Because what you guys did to him by benching him against a good team, you're either going to bench him the rest of the year and develop him in the background, or you're going to play him. One of the two needs to happen. Colts organization, you are failing Anthony Richardson by benching him for that. That is no excuse. And all these people saying, "Oh, he lost the locker room, Hell no, he didn't lose the locker room. The locker room loves him. There's so many reports out there about people loving him and having good times with him, and says he's a good person and all this other stuff. The dude wanted one. He knew that you guys were going to call another pass, and he was going to be running for his freaking life again. So I blame the Indianapolis Colts organization on that. Terrible. And as you guys know, I did the Thursday night game, which was the Jets. I already did that, which was the Jets upset over the Houston Texans, if you call it an upset, because Texans are super depleted. But my idiot award goes to the wide receiver, I believe his name is Conley, who decided to drop the ball at the goal line before going in, because that would have settled that game way ahead of time. And you, sir, are my blunder of the week, because there's no way that you were ever taught to drop the ball at the goal line. And anybody, if I ever did that, if I was coaching a team, and I've coached low league and stuff like that before, if I was coaching a team and a player did that, you would be benched permanently. That's it. I would not care. That's it. It doesn't matter. You would be benched permanently until next year. Maybe you would learn, what's more important, celebrating or holding on to the ball. And as far as my, I'm going to start doing this every week, where I say, and my most impressed player that I've seen is, and there's a tie for this one, and both of them played on Monday night. It was Cade Otton and it was DeAndre Hopkins. Cade Otton has stepped up in the absence of Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Luckily, they get Mike Evans back here soon. But when you step up like that, in the last 3 games, he has like 30 receptions. That's crazy for a tight end. It's crazy. I know he has over 30 targets, so that's crazy. And DeAndre Hopkins is my other great performer. Week and a half in the system, and just this game, he had 2 touchdowns. DeAndre Hopkins continued, like, I'm biased. I am. He's one of my favorite players to ever play the game. I loved him when he got drafted. I loved him in Houston. I loved the game he played. I loved when he went to Arizona. I loved the second year in Arizona. Maybe it was the third. I think it was the second, where he came back after injury or got suspended for, he was suspended for 6 games. He came back and still broke 1,000 yards. Insane player, great player, and one of the best. One of the best, and I think him and Larry Fitzgerald, I think, are the most disrespected receivers of all time. Because honestly, if I had to pick the greatest receiver of all time, it's not Jerry, it's not Randy, it's not T.O., it's Larry Fitzgerald. I'm sorry. That's just personal opinion. Larry Fitzgerald, he didn't play with many Hall of Fame quarterbacks, and he's always getting it done. He played with Kurt Warner. That was it. That's his Hall of Fame list right there. 2 or 3 years. 1 Super Bowl run. They almost won it for one for St. Antonio Holmes, which was a great throw. But yeah, DeAndre Hopkins, Kate Otten, those are my performers of the week. And then my blunder of the week. See, I don't even remember your name. I think it's Conley. But yeah, you should be cut. That's inexcusable in my book. But yeah, that's how this week rolled in, and excited for next week. We got some good matchups. I will cover probably Thursday, and then upload a video on that one, and then see how the trades end up, and see if we got anything going on. There's been rumors that things aren't done yet, so I'm interested to see what happens. If KJ Osborne gets traded or other people get traded, see what happens. But all right, that was this week in football. So, and like I said, the game of the week was that Monday night KC Tampa Bay. That game was amazing. I'm tired and I am headed to bed. I hope you guys all enjoyed this, and if you watch it, thanks. If not, if you end up seeing this and watch this and like it, cool. This is just for me. All right, have fun, enjoy football, enjoy life.